It's September on the OBA tour, and we have a double feature for you this month as we bring you all the action from Panshanger Golf Complex and Woolston Manor Golf Club in Essex. At Panshanger there were only 2 players in the field after late withdrawals from Sproghead and Werthow. Burns and Fish would be jockeying for position in the absence of tour leader Biscuit. A win for Fish would put him tied first at the top of the leaderboard. A win for Burns would close the gap between himself and Fish. The fourth was the first par 3 of the day and the first real test of accuracy for the players. Up first, Fish would strike a clean 5-iron to go long and right of the green. Visualising the hole completely differently from his competitor, Burns was looking to play a high rescue club, hoping for a soft landing on the green. As it was, he would squirt this one right, something that would set the trend for the rest of the round. After playing out of the trees at the par 5 fifth, Burns had this 4th shot into the green. He came up just short but was able to clean up for a 2-point bogey. At the 6th, Fish suffered a terrible stroke of luck, first going into the trees and then chipping out into an old divot. Digging his 3rd shot out of the turf, he was at the mercy of the lie and found himself in the trees once more. The West House man bounced back well at the 7th though, playing this 2nd shot into the green and 2-putting for par. After 7 holes, the scoring was less than spectacular, but Fish held a 2-point lead against his opponent. The short par 4-8 provided a great birdie opportunity for the players, and Fish looked to his stock draw off the tee with the driver to take him round the corner. He didn't get the right to left that he was looking for though, and ended up with a much longer shot into the green than he intended. Burns set himself up to aim for the left of the fairway, hoping that the gradient would take his ball down towards the green. Having played conservative with the 5-wood though, the push right wasn't as disastrous as it could have been, and he ended up with an easy 2nd shot in. Both players would take their pars and move on. At the 13th, Fish did the one thing he was looking to avoid and ended up in the big barranca. A blind 3rd shot to the green didn't go well, and he'd walk away with a juicy 7. Burns carried a 5-point lead into the 17th hole, and it looked like he might need it as he put 2 balls into the out of bounds off of the tee. Having picked up himself, he had to watch Fish putt for par and eat into his lead. A bogey still meant 2 points, and Burns' lead was reduced to 3. Burns found the next fairway with the driver off of the 18th tee, however on consulting the local rules it was deemed out of bounds and he was forced to reload. Trailing by 3 points, Fish had already hit the fairway well and was thinking of the par or better which might force the playoff. Burns' 3rd was in play, and if he could scramble even just a point it would surely put the match beyond Fish's reach. As it was, Burns fell foul of the local out of bounds once more from the fairway bunker and could only get greenside in 7 strokes. Fish meanwhile had hit a fantastic 2nd shot and was putting for eagle. With Burns now unable to score, this would seal the match for Fish in dramatic fashion. The eagle putt came up short, and he was left with a tricky 2-footer to win the game outright. Fish made no mistakes from that distance though, and having recovered from a 5-point deficit over the final 2 holes, he was a worthy winner. Needless to say, Burns was visibly devastated. Fish picked up longest drive and nearest the pin on the day. Burns took +4 on Roger Goldie to compound his woes. Fish delighted with par. The victory then tying Fish with Biscuit at 10 points at the top of the Race to Woodford leaderboard. Biscuit though, with his 5 victories, still edging it to 1st position. The 2nd event of the month was Woolston Manor in true OBA heartland. Having filled in the entry forms this week were Werthow, Burns and Levis making his first appearance on the tour for 3 months. And it was the schoolhouse man who laid down the early marker, Having played back onto the correct fairway at the second, this delicate approach shot into the green would give him a very makeable par putt. He would bogey from there, and receiving 2 strokes he made 4 points. Wertho had showed good early form with the driver, and he didn't disappoint at the third tee. This one was long and straight, so long in fact that it made the ditch and he was forced to drop out. He failed to capitalise though and walked away without any Stableford points. At the par 5 fifth, 2 simple 6-irons had set up Levis for a decent third shot into the green. 6-iron once more, downwind this time, and he found the front of the green comfortably. He needed just 1 putt from there to card his first ever OBA Tour birdie and another 4 points. Wertho too was finding his putting form, although this was too little too late on the 6th, but would stand him in good stead going forward. Levis meanwhile, after a truly mesmeric tee shot, had this for bogey. Bit of a misread there, still, he kept the Stableford tally ticking over. It was longest drive at the 9th, a contest that was comprehensively won by Levis with 5-iron in hand. Having set himself up for a second shot into the green, the big hitting continued and he found himself over the back. Having failed to capitalise on a good position at the 9th, Wertho was looking to make amends at the par 3 10th. A beautifully cut approach put him on the way to a 3-point bogey. By this point at the 13th, Burns had already picked up for the 2nd hole in a row, having played conservatively here then found the water anyway. Wertho was unable to tidy up his par. A feat Levis reluctantly emulated. A bogey each for School and Northhouse then meant that Levis had a clear 7-point lead over Burns, who was just himself 2 points ahead of Wertho. Burns did manage to pull himself together over the closing 6 holes though, however it wasn't enough to counter Levis's relentless scoring. An 8-point victory for Levis then, who smashed his previous PB and really announced himself as a force on the tour. Burns had to be content with a 2nd runner-up spot on the bounce. However, with Fish and Biscuit both absent, this was still a point gained in the race to Woodford. Burns also took nearest the pin, and all 3 players performed well in the Roger Goldie. These are the individual standings then after September's events, Burns having guaranteed himself at least a playoff in nearest the pin. RGC for the season looked like this. Any of the top 5 could still feasibly take the title at Woodford. Levis or Wertho slightly longer odds to do that, and Burns languishing on plus 22 at the bottom of the leaderboard may as well pack his bag. The race to Woodford really hotting up now with one more event to play. Quite simply, whoever outscores the other at Woodford will be crowned the champion, although Biscuit could still be the victor without scoring if Fish fails himself to score. Great to also see Levis finally making an appearance on the leaderboard. So join us at Woodford to see how this exciting season pans out. We'll see you then.